Good morning. It is Monday, November 27th, 2023, and this is Thomas Caldwell of the Aurelian Column, and this is the Monday Morning Report. Okay, first off, I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. Apparently, there was a lot of travel in the United States. There was some concern of potential terrorist activity. I didn't go into that last week, but apparently nothing has happened. It's now Monday. Everybody's back at work or should be, and life goes on. The big news is, of course, what's going on in Ireland, in Dublin especially. Some children were stabbed, attacked by a migrant, an immigrant, invader, depending on your point of view. And the Irish, being who they are, simply had enough and started to fight back. Ireland is no stranger to religious turmoil and ethnic strife, especially if you consider the British and the Irish different ethnic groups. And if you bring in, I think it's up to 1 million people from the Middle East and Africa who are not going to acclimate very well into a country that is European, traditionally quite isolated, that has all sorts of social problems, including housing shortages. It's a powder keg ready to go off, and it seems to be going off. What really pushed things over the edge, even among people in the United States who consider themselves liberal, is the reaction of the government. The Irish equivalent of the Prime Minister over there, Mr. Leo Varadkar, I believe you pronounce his name, he was mostly concerned about the right-wing extremists or the racists or all this other stuff, not about children being killed or the fact that women there are being raped and all sorts of nasty things going on. That pushed people even more into the angry category, not just in Ireland, but in other parts of the world, including the United States. So even though the riots have stopped for now, and I don't think there's a report that one of the kids may not make it, if that child passes, things will take on a different tone. But at this point, you cannot bring literally invaders into a country, no matter whether you invite them or not, and expect there to be a proper reaction to them. Multiculturalism doesn't work. Not in the way that the ultra-liberal establishments of so many Western countries think it does. So look for that to be more of a problem, but at the same time do follow it. I think the Irish are going to be much more defensive than they were when the British were occupying Ulster the way they were in the 60s, 70s, and into the 80s. I would suggest the history of the Irish Republican Army to see what is capable of happening in that country, and sadly what has been terribly avoidable. In other news, as I was predicting, things are just bumbling along in a rather messy way in Israel and Gaza. The local countries do not seem to be interested in committing their militaries to that situation, in spite of the alarmist views of many military analysts. Unless the United States decides to go and attack some other country like Iran, and there's been a lot of reports that that's what could happen. Unless the U.S. starts something, I don't think it's going to go much further than what you're seeing. You're going to see the dead baby report out every night on different news organizations. You're going to see people pointing their fingers, but you're going to see Gaza pretty much reduced to a even more of a smoldering pile of rubble than it is now. There's already talk about Palestinians being shipped to other countries, including the United States. For the last 70 some odd years, they've been taught and they believe that the U.S. is the ultimate enemy. You cannot expect these people to come in and be model citizens and vote Democrat, which is what a lot of the people in the establishment want to see. Other than that, gasoline prices are remarkably low. This is something I've been getting reports from privately from friends around the United States, and they're just amazed that gasoline prices have not gone up given the problems in the Middle East. Other things are going up, though, food especially. Do watch the food bill. It is going up really high in some places. Other than that, Gonzalo Lira was mentioned by Douglas McGregor, Colonel Douglas McGregor, who's gotten to be a very prominent commentator on the goings-on in not only Gaza and Israel, but in Ukraine. And Mr. Lira, who is rotting away in a prison somewhere, if he's lucky, if he's still alive, is still not being given the attention that he deserves. And this is something that is a concern to any American overseas, because once one person is given a pass by the federal government, other people will for a lot less. So if you are an expatriate listening to my voice and you're not concerned, please become so, and do what you can to call attention to any senators. Again, senators, U.S. senators, have a lot of power over the State Department and a lot of influence there. So if you want to find out what's going on with him, or you want to prod the system, that's the place to do it. Other than that, I don't really have much else to report this week. The Irish story is something that is worthy of far more attention than it's getting. So that being said, I will make this a brief report and get on to other things. If you like what you hear, if you like what you read, you like my poetry, you like my writing, and you like my audio reports, please consider a paid subscription. At the very least, please like and subscribe and pass links on to your friends. Donations are also appreciated because it frees up my time to handle more interesting things such as this, as opposed to the mundane things that we have to do to make our way in the world. Anyways, I will be in touch during the week if anything else happens in Ireland. I do plan on a more extensive report, one that's being written. In the meantime, welcome back to work. And the Christmas shopping season, if you're into that in the U.S. Be good, be safe, and good day.